and I think that joining up with the community. You're still active in the bodybuilding world and the show
Right,
world,
yeah.
correct?
Yeah, that's right. I've got all these big boy trophies as well. I can't get them all out, but one looks like that.
Yeah.
I got another one last weekend, and a few weekends before that, I got this one as well. Oh, that's the one I got last weekend. So
Awesome.
cute.
Awesome.
He is wearing trunks. Don't worry.
Yeah. that,
One
that,
more.
that,
That one. Yeah. Nice bit of
when
metal.
and bodybuilding is another global community.
In a way, yeah. So like we have maybe years ago, you had like the keto sort of space, online. How to make keto, this, that, and the other. Now it's more carnivore. How to, choose the correct salt. How to support your local farmers. All this sort of stuff. But bodybuilding is much the same, but they're a lot more crooked, I'd say. In that there's a lot more like affiliations, supplements, products, man-made stuff we don't really need. So carnivore seems more authentic in my opinion.
Well, you would I see carnivore as just a very narrow uh, form of healing the body, and so it doesn't require so many of those other things. And is there a community within the bodybuilding area that is focused on carnivore more and more? Do you think?
If I'm honest, it's about the same as where it was maybe 5 years ago. It's not really
Uh-huh.
grown. Um, I tried to reach out to people, but there's not a lot of bodybuilders stick around long enough to compete and go through the whole show sort of side of things. I'd say most carnivores out there that are bodybuilding, I know, and it's a slim group of people. Um, Basically, it's my clients, maybe some of Robert Sykes, Keto Savages, sort of people parallel with that sort of where we're eating. Um, Richard Smith was a bodybuilder. Al Reeves is kind of keto. Um, yeah, it's with us. We kind of just see low carb as a whole, like community itself within bodybuilding. So there'll be low carb bodybuilders, but very few carnivores.
Mm, mm.
Yeah,
Lizzie World likes the statues. Really cool to win them. It is
sweet.
a lot of. I mean, it's a lifestyle that you got to stay in all the time to really keep your body in the best shape.
Yeah,
Is
the same with you. So like you do your exercise. You got to check your box each day. You got to check your calendar. You've got to make sure. Oh, have I eaten today? I might be alright. I might eat a bit more later. It's always something in the back of your mind. I don't go about any day idly thinking, oh, every box can be ticked for me. You have to pursue it. It can take decades. So yeah.
yeah, yeah. Let's see, Kimberly Russell.
Hello,
Good
Kimberly.
morning, Coach and Dr. K. And how much of what I think what we're doing here in this carnivore space is the same thing, the bodybuilding space, and now with the online communities, it's helping inspire others.
Hopefully, yeah. That's my biggest thing. I mean, one of my problems of being a bodybuilder in the carnivore space is that people miss the fact that I'm also medically trained. I'm also got a degree in human nutrition, and my specialism is in health. Namely the nutrition side of it. But I also do like the quantum stuff as well. But I get typecasted for being a bodybuilder because I look like a bodybuilder. I think, oh, this guy, you might get Brenda from Texas, 50 years old, or I'm not going to approach him because he's a bodybuilder. He won't know much about fixing women's bodies or fixing. The principles are the same. We're all trying to build our body just to different margins of intensity, I guess you could say. So
Yeah, John Beatty. Good morning to Jonathan and Kilts. And let's see, thinking for myself is now watching, although you can listen. And ultimately, everyone has this beautiful, amazing gift called a human body. And the environment we're in, it's so taught us to put into the mind and the mouth and participate in things that are harmful. And maybe a little bit of a teaser for tomorrow morning with you on tomorrow is a little bit about the mindset. How important is the mindset to this journey compared to simply following these rules of what you eat and how you move?
Yeah. To the concepts of mindset, you're looking to find ways to be objective as possible, also not letting small setbacks throw you back and small hurdles throw you back. So each day is a process. It's an ongoing self-assessment, self-analysis kind of strategy. Bodybuilders are innately insane, like me. Most bodybuilders agree with that. You've got to have a bit of tenacity, but also a bit of maybe masochism. I don't know. So yeah, you'd have to be quite mindful of how far you go down that rabbit hole, I think, and just apply yourself as best you can, and be mindful that you're not always going to be the winner on stage, but it doesn't mean you stop. And there's always another show. So it's like a soccer tournament, American football tournament. There's always going to be another competition. So you're only as good as your last competition. So with that, you hold yourself to that high account where you're thinking, okay, my last show I came third out of the local little regional show, whatever it was, like a beach competition. I was gutted by that, but it keeps fire in my belly. It shows me there's always room to improve. So you got to be accepting of that, I think, and it's important to always look back on your successes, but also your losses. Learn from it. The same thing applies with health, trying to get rid of diabetes. Reduce. I know you talk about fat being good, but reduce excess body fat. Finding a way to sort of progress in the gym if you can't pick up your child because you're not strong enough, stuff like that. So it's finding these little objectives and trying to find ways to overcome them.
Are you a protein powder guy or just eat meat? Nod Jane Wall.
Me, I do eat protein powder as well. I use it as a supplement to my diet though. So choosing between two, if I can, I'll have the meat first. Eat the meat. But I will say the frustrating part is having to eat so much food, which people will never realize unless they've done it themselves. So I'm, without trying to sound arrogant, I'm the pioneer in carnivore bodybuilding. No one has achieved what I have achieved yet in bodybuilding other than me. I'm the first person to do it, and I've managed to find a way to do it in spite of difficulties that I may have. But yes, it is. When you get to a certain level, you need a certain amount of food. It is more helpful to supplement with something than to stuff your face to feel sick every night. So it's going to digest a bit quicker. But the average person out there does not need supplements. They do not need protein powders. They don't want to buy stuff. If you've got average goals, you just need an average diet, which is a standard proper human appropriate diet.
Which is animal meat centric and minimize the plants. Are there plants that you do consume?
Yeah, I mean, if you looked over, I was actually looking yesterday, so I went on Chronometer and I track everything I eat because, if you want to be good at something, you have to specialize and find a way to measure things. And I think it's 99+% of my macronutrient intake over a given year, on any year, is from animal foods only. Honey is not an animal food, guys. It's made from bee poop, kind of. But you know what I mean. So yeah, it's I do have things every now and then though. I am a human being, so I like Pepsi Max caffeine free. I like chewing gum. I like ice cream sometimes, but I can make my own carnivore ice cream. And every now and then, if I'm not competing, I'll have a meal out with family. And that would include like maybe a typical British Sunday roast dinner. I mean, who doesn't like a typical British Sunday roast dinner, So I think it's okay, like you say, to have like, your fries cooked in tallow, or as long as it's kind of seen as a treat and something you want and actively choose to have it, not so much because you think it's part of a staple human-centric approach.
Kimberly Russell, Jonathan has transformed my body, really knows his stuff. Fantastic coach. And
Cheers, Kimberly,
it is important to have a coach cheerleader It's like we all went to school, had teachers. Same thing. We just, this idea that we stop learning. We need to keep on learning and listening, and that's why I come onto these
Mm.
to look and listen and learn. So important. Tomorrow we're going to highlight Jonathan on our 9 a.m. Eastern Time live. So excited about that. And again, around the globe, what's your favorite mindset book? Do you have any books or people that have inspired you for mindset?
Yeah, someone asked me this a little while ago. I don't personally read books. I read scientific articles, journal articles. I like to read case studies. Every now and then, if there's something I've seen online, like maybe an interview or some sort of like long format article from someone, I'll just use AI to speak it for me. So I'll listen to it.
Hmm.
I find just staring at screens and staring at books tiring. I get busy very easily. Um, but yeah, in terms of like people, inspirational figures in my life, my family, my brother, my girlfriend Jo, she's very inspirational. Um, People with skills that I don't necessarily have or want to develop. So a lot of people out there, not everyone, but they might feel jealousy, envy, wish they had something or they have it and I don't. No, there are people in the room that I want to be in because they have something I don't, which will make me better. So anyone like that. So you, Dr. Kilch, you're very charming. You're good fun. You like to have a laugh. I'm not always like that, so I like to listen to you sometimes to develop some charm and have a laugh. So that's
Good.
my approach to it, really.
I like that. I like that. Charm and laugh. We got to laugh. And do you work with non-carnivores, Jonathan?
Yes, I do. So that's a friend of Joe's actually. So yes, I work with anyone trying to achieve something. Even if you're a vegan, you want to do something better than what you're currently doing. I'll find a way to do it with you. So I'll work with you to choose maybe if it's plant foods that are more sustainable for your diet, maybe they're a bit less deleterious, maybe like a lower FODMAP diet, certain cooking methods, certain foods we should avoid. I'll be able to inform people on that. And in regards to exercise, it's the same. No matter who you are, the biology is the same. It's not like I've got one stomach and the next person has four. We're all human beings, so what we do and don't need is very similar.
Right. So ultimately, biologically and physically, we're all the same. Look under a microscope at the same cells, can't tell who we are.
Mm.
And the proper human diet is carnivore, and the proper human lifestyle is resistance work more than jogging. Would you say?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's a common amongst men nowadays, and maybe to some degree women as well. Is that if you go back maybe thousands of years, we'd all have a animal centric diet for the most part around the world. Um, the problem is we were actively hunting to acquire these foods. Nowadays, we just have the eating part, but not the getting part, the gathering, the hunting part. I think that's where a lot of people go wrong. They miss that exercise and activity part. And I think there's certain biological parts of our brain, our biochemistry, that haven't quite adapted to being so sedentary. So I think that's how we can get anger, pent up remorse, stress, because we're not focusing our stress on something else. All of our stress are based around our interactions, things we spend or don't spend money on, money, finances, housing, food, water. But we don't give ourselves physical stress. I think we need a bit of both to the right degree, not overly too much, to give ourselves the best chance of survival.
Yeah, is the agenda to control us, and so part of the bodybuilding, the carnivore world is actually break the mold of the agenda, and be the lion, the lioness that we really are.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, we're being stripped of our human nature, and nature is, of course, it's our subjective reality that we live in at an exact point in time. naturally right now I'm sat here talking to you, Dr. Kiltz. Naturally, I have food at lunchtime. Naturally, I'm not running out in the wild. So people misunderstand that. But it doesn't mean necessarily that our bodies are aligned that way. That's the difference, I think. We're getting a lot of chatting, aren't we, guys?
Yeah, a lot of stuff. We got we got some jewels showing up here.
Ooh, lovely.
Steel, India, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Is the bot? Do you think the percent body fat can people strengthen and feel better bodybuilding, even if they have excessive fat on their body right now? But the work they're doing between the diet, the mindset, and the resistance work, can they get to feeling better in just a short amount of time?
I would say so, yes. In a detrained state, so someone that is sedentary, they're not doing any exercise resistance of any kind, which is like the gym. Yeah, I mean, it will help, one, support their bone mass. Two, they'll feel mentally better because they've got an external focus. Gives them a locus of control which they wouldn't otherwise have. If all you've control in life is your body, is your mind, but not your body, I think you're missing out on something. Effectively, when you've got more muscle mass, it means you've got a bigger bucket to deal with in terms of the amount of food or misdemeanors you can handle in your daily diet. So, for example, a diet of a guy who's obese with 4 slabs of butter per day in his coffees and the fattiest meat he can choose, but not resistance training, will never have as good success with his health outcomes than someone who is otherwise doing the exercise. And they'll find that, with more muscle, more insulin sensitivity, over time they might actually recomposition, so they'll might stay a similar-ish sort of weight, but they'll lose body fat over time if it's in excess, and they'll feel stronger and better for it. So it's a multifaceted approach. Of course, the diet is the mainstay. I'm not coming on here telling people, just go to the gym and you're going to be fine. No, it's maybe 10% of the equation, but that 10%, if you're leaving it on the table for the sake of 10, 15 minutes workout 3 times a week, you're missing out. It doesn't take a lot. I do less than 3 hours of exercise a week. I've built a world-class body in my category. So,
Wow. So really, I was, the mind to me is number one. Whatever shape you're in, work on this mind and look and see the beauty of who and what you are and the world is, and then master the carnivore lifestyle meal. But yeah, so I do 100 push-ups a day. I typically work at my stand-up desk most of the day. I don't have in this particular desk my weights, but most of my places I have some weights where I just do some work with the resistance work through the day. And you're right, you don't have to do a lot. Uh,
yeah, you don't need to do many different exercises either. If you've got a chin-up bar, you've pretty much set. You can do some bodyweight squats, walk up the stairs, take 2 steps at a time rather than 1. Do a wall sit. You can do push-ups. You can, get on your knees and do like elevator push-ups more for your shoulders, close grip push-ups, pull-ups, inverted rows. Put a chair in front of you. The possibilities are endless. Like right now, you're exercising. We're
yeah,
sat. It's like I don't know, whatever o'clock in the morning where you're at, and you're sat at home having a great time. So yeah.
yeah, yeah. And when are you? Do you have a usual time that you come on live for Q's days, or are you mostly just offering up times for independent coaching?
I offer time up for anyone really that needs something. Sometimes I do some live stream stuff with guys. I do Grandma Crochet Corners. I know you know Barbara.
Yes.
I go with her or with George on a Sunday morning UK time. I do Rick show, Charge of Mopar. My good friend in the chat about 1 p.m. my time, 8 a.m. your time, I imagine. That's on a Saturday. And then throughout the week, I might jump on someone else's live stream. That's what I do for free kind of thing, side of things. But I do coach people offline in a personal, private setting as well. So.
Don't you think by just listening and watching people that are doing the work to be healthier, we're all going to get to a mindset, and we're going to maybe unknowingly start doing the work to be healthier.
Yeah, I'd say it's definitely a collective effort side of things. Who we're around affects who we will be.
Yeah.
Monkey see, monkey do. I agree. Yeah.
We got Rick in the house. We got where's Christine Salt online. I'm wondering how women 40 or older can be lean, eating high carb, low fat. And in order to in order to sort of lean down and muscle up for a show, do you do more lower fat at that time? And
yeah, essentially. So I work on the principle that works for all human beings, the mass balance model. It's not ideal. We can't be an absolute perfect isolated scientific chamber where we measure everything that comes in and out of our body, but it's the best method we have. So that is alluding to the study in 2021 by Francisco Arencia Albaita, and he's comparing things like the calories in, calories out model, or the energy balance theory versus the mass balance model. The mass balance model does take into effect and account the carbohydrate insulin side of things, whilst also looking at how macronutrients in their raw carbon form affect our body composition, how things go in and out of our body. So we can't control or measure everything comes in exactly. We can't control everything comes out exactly. But we can look at these figures, so how much meat we're eating, what our protein or fat intake is, and see how that affects our body composition. And what I found with everyone is you find your protein amount, and that keeps you strong, satiated, recovered, well slept, gives you vitamins, minerals, amino acids, all the things that your body needs, so that you're not becoming depleted, so you maintain your muscle mass. And all you simply do is lower your fat over time. The problem with that is some people will try to go to like zero fat. That's a recipe for disaster. You need these essential omega-3s and 6s for the cell membranes to create cells in our body. We need cholesterol in a high amount, especially if we're in a highly stressed out state. It just reduces the burden on the body. So that's where a vegan diet might be less successful, because they don't have the extra cholesterol and fat-soluble vitamins in a raw, digestible and compatible form that one might need.
Well, let's see here. It's showtime with Mitch coming up in about a minute, and then we'll be on live today with let's see, who are we on today at 9 a.m. Again, it's been some shifts in my schedule because of my travels around the world. Today, Vinny Pacifico, pro wrestler and carnivore, is with us at 9 a.m. Eastern time today, so that's going to be very interesting. So I'm going to sign off here, Jonathan. We'll see. And then Carnivore Muscle Pro Jonathan is on with us tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern time. And God bless, Jonathan. Thank you for stopping in. Appreciate it, my friend.
Best wishes. All right, take care. Cheers.
Wishes. God bless everybody. Bye, everybody. See you with Mitch here.